With the addition of a ranked mode, battles in TCG Pocket have never been more important or impactful. Trainers everywhere have been searching far and wide for the best strategies and deck builds to help them climb the ranks. Well, look no further. Hello and welcome back to TriBit Council for the second in a series of 5 videos covering deck builds. If this is your first video, I'll clue you in. Each day for about a week or so, we are covering one deck that seems to be doing well in the ranked mode that has recently been released to Pokémon TCG Pocket. As part of that coverage, we will go over strategy as well as show you an example battle, but on top of that, tomorrow's video will not just be a new deck, it will be a deck that counters today's current deck. Today we are covering the meta killer, Gallade EX. Arceus and Dialga have become a very popular deck in the meta right now, and this deck has become very popular along with it, simply for its ability to shut up all the Arceus abusers by using that high energy cost and fighting weakness against them. In fact, Gallade EX seems to be custom built to counter any of these decks, not just Arceus and Dialga, that like to build up energy on that backline and then bring someone out to sweep your entire team. But that's enough on why we use it. Without further ado, let's get into how we use it. What makes this deck work? First and foremost, as always, let's talk cards. This deck consists of 2 Ralts, 2 Kirlia, 2 Gallade EX, 2 Riolu, 2 Spacetime Smackdown Lucario, 1 Sudowoodo, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Pokecoms, 2 Professor's Research, 1 Sabrina, 1 Leaf, and 1 Pokemon Center Lady. And now that we know the players, let's talk energy and where everyone fits into the lineup. This deck uses fighting energy only, which should make sense. The 2 Psychic type cards have colorless attacks, and then the rest are fighting types, so that all works out nicely. What's really worth noting is the variance that this deck can have. The Gallade line always remains the same, but some people will switch out Sudowoodo for Hitmonlee or even Druddigon. The Hitmonlee people will usually incorporate more Cyrus Trainer cards into their deck to kind of pull in those people that they've done damage on from their back line, and then the Druddigon people will make use of Giant Capes or Rocky Helmets. Of all these combos, and I've played them all, my favorite seems to be Sudowoodo, but you can adjust per your preference. For my specific preferred Sudowoodo deck though, let's talk general battle strategy. This deck is super energy efficient and the retreat costs are also very low, so it can be somewhat flexible. The ideal start is leading with Sudowoodo, however, Riolu can be a decent starter in the active spot as well. You'll look to build up your 2-stage Gallade in the background while slowly chipping away at the enemy team with whatever you have in the active spot. But once Gallade is there and he's got the 2 energy on him, you're ready to start crushing pretty much anyone in his path. Most of the time, Gallade's base damage mixed with either the energy that the opposing Pokemon is holding or the chip damage that your initial active Pokemon did will allow your Energized Blade move to kill anybody, just literally anybody. Lucario can also be a really big help with this, adding a little bit of boost to get the job done. On top of all that, Gallade EX is pretty tanky with 170 HP, so whether it takes 1 hit or 2, there should be health to spare. This also factors into helping against those big energy teams because their one giant move won't wipe out your Gallade immediately. Opposing Druddigons in particular can be a problem, or at least that's what I've noticed over time, but having Sabrina in the deck gives you kind of a way to avoid them. Sabrina can also be really helpful to pull out whatever Pokemon the opponent is stacking energy on before they're ready to give them to you. But this is all just theory, so why don't we hop into an actual ranked battle and really see how it works. Here we are in ranked mode, climbing up the ladder of Great Ball. I've got Sack and Slash, my aptly named Gallade EX deck, waiting right here. Sack and Slash because originally when it had Druddigon in it, I would put Druddigon out there, sack him, and then have Gallade come in and sweep from behind, so Sack and Slash. It kind of still fits with Sudowoodo, so I left the name there. I also just kind of like the wordplay. But without further ado, let's get into this, find ourselves an opponent, see if we can't get an Arceus deck just to show off how this kind of counters the deck from yesterday. That would be ideal. Either way, we'll just try and get a general idea for how the deck works, so we'll see how it works out for us here. Sudowoodo to start out with, that's a big one. We can throw him in our active spot. And then we also have a Riolu, which is very nice because even though we're starting out first and we don't get the energy first, not a huge deal for this deck given how energy efficient it is. And we get to have Lucario the first time we go to attack, which I'm sure will be a little bit of a surprise to this guy. Sprigatito. Okay, so this is probably a Meowscarada deck. I've been seeing this a whole bunch lately, so Not too sure how I feel about this. It feels like it works into Gallade EX pretty well, since Meowscarada does a lot of damage to EXs without having to have a lot of energy on it. But nonetheless, we will play into the wind here and see if we can't pull off a win. So I'm seeing him drop Beedrill and Sprigatito down again. Beedrill, I'm not too worried about. I don't know if I said Beedrill just now. Weedle is what he dropped down, but Beedrill I'm not too worried about because, like I said, this deck is pretty energy efficient and it's pretty low cost when it comes to that energy. So not a huge deal if we lose an energy every turn. It will hurt, obviously. Beedrill will probably kill within a couple turns. But we've got a great setup. This is almost ideal for getting Gallade out there and Sudowoodo back. We've already got the Leaf waiting. We've got a second Riolu that we'll throw on the bench. That's always good because if we draw another Lucario, that's another boost to our damage. And then we almost one-shot this Sprigatito. I'm sure it'll evolve next turn, but maybe we'll get another chance to hit it and get rid of it next turn. But like I said, we're set up really well. Gallade's on deck, Leaf's on deck, Kirlia's already out there, Lucario's already out there. This is one of the more ideal starts that we could hope for, but it looks like they're starting out pretty good with their Oaks too. It'll really come down to a race to who can get their second stage evolution up faster. So we're being attacked by Florgato right now. That's a huge chunk of damage on Sudowoodo, but I'm kind of liking how this is looking so far. Basically, next turn, our Sudowoodo will die, our Kirlia will come in for free, no need to use Leaf. And while we won't kill Florgato with our Sudowoodo this turn, we'll bring it low enough that Gallade EX should be able to do the trick, and we won't have to worry about Meowscarada's normally pretty large health pool not being able to be one-shot by Gallade EX. So let's throw Gallade EX out there just to make sure that it's tanky in case they have some crazy Sabrina poke play or something like that they want to do with Cyrus or something. Do a little bit more whittle damage on Florgato, and again, I think we're set up pretty good for sweeping this out once they send out Meowscarada, if they even have it. So you can see he's thinking like I'm thinking, kind of running scared a little bit here, healing the Florgato. It's not ideal, but you can see that he didn't have Meowscarada this turn, which is huge for us. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to see if we're paralyzed. Really doesn't matter, we're dead, so not worried about that. We should be able to one-shot Kakuna this turn. Hopefully our luck holds out and they don't have a Meowscarada next turn as well. That way we can still kill off that Florgato with relatively little issue. Meowscarada shouldn't be able to one-shot by any means. I believe the Gallade EX can tank a hit from it, so even if it does survive one turn, we have our second Lucario now, so we should be able to kill Meowscarada given the damage that's on it next turn. That's also assuming, again, though, that it doesn't have another Erica trainer to heal it up. That would really be pretty damning for us. I guess we will see how it ends up. Here's the moment of truth. Did we get the Meowscarada? Okay, so another Erica, which is not great, but no Meowscarada. Never mind, there it is. Oh, that's tough. Okay. I think that might be Oh! I forgot. Since it has another energy on it, I was expecting it to do 130, but Kakuna had 1 energy on it. Meowscarada has 2 energy on it, so sorry. Even though we've got a fully healed Meowscarada, the worst possible situation that we could have hoped for, we can just slap a Lucario energy on there, Energized Blade, sack and slash, baby. Too easy. Even Meowscarada, a deck that does pretty well into Gallade EX, we had little to no trouble with. Because really, we drew pretty well from the beginning, I gotta say. Even though I think they also drew somewhat well, that's tough. That's tough. The Team Rocket Tails is tough for them. But yeah, even though they also drew pretty well from the beginning, they're gonna concede. That's a victory for us. Let's go. I guess, since we've shown that off, how good Gallade EX can be, you can take it, run with it, counter the meta with it, and I think we can motion to end things there. All those opposed, click through. You can check out the new, maybe meta-breaking deck tomorrow. I say meta-breaking, but I more mean that it's reshaping the meta as we know it. Should be very interesting. Check that one out tomorrow. But then all those in favor, you can just hit subscribe. That way, either way, you can catch us in the next one. See you guys. Good luck with your battles.